560-6197.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Change begins with you. Join a weight loss medication study at Solarion and earn cash in the process. If you are 19 to 65 years old with excess weight to lose, you may qualify. Participants could earn up to $22,750 for their time. Study includes 1 2-night stay, 1 3-night stay, and 38 returns. Learn more at helpresearch.com/flamingo or call 866-213-2965. Weight loss not guaranteed.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker, who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to a somewhat snowy, glorious Thursday edition of the Adam Carriker Show here at 93.7 The Ticket. Lots to chat about. We got a bunch of Nebraska basketball clips that we're going to play. People around the country, after we lose, are starting to buy in. Jake, what gives? You lose. You know what this felt like? It felt like a pro wrestling match. All right, I'm going to talk pro wrestling. I said the other day I don't talk pro wrestling. Ah. All right, the glass shatters. Here we go. That was a bunch. I don't know. I was going to go Attitude Era, but I don't know if I can do that. All right, so it's like a pro wrestling match where the guy who loses actually comes out looking better because they get sympathy on him. You know, maybe they cheat. They hit him in the back with a chair. Big Ten refs. Maybe there's some things that happen that are a little underhanded and dirty, and the guy who loses actually comes out looking better. I kind of felt like that watching this game. Now, we had a real shot to win this game. And I know there's been lots of complaints about the refs, and I get that. 23 free throw attempts to 4. They made 19. We made 3. That definitely has an impact on the game. The one that really stood out to me was the Hoiberg non-charge call. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on the refs here. I feel like Nebraska basketball is finally starting to get some national respect. Like, hey, they went into Michigan. Michigan was significantly taller than us in multiple positions due to Prager and Mass and all these guys being out. And frankly, we went in there and we outplayed them. Didn't get the win, didn't get the dub. But I feel like national pundits are like, man, they about won in Michigan. It's like supposed to be Michigan, Arizona for the national title. They really outplayed them. They outcoached them. They were outdisciplined them. They were smarter. It's like Nebraska was elevated in the loss. Finally, people across the country are starting to show them some respect. So we're going to chat a little bit today about a few things. Some Husker football news updates. But Nebraska basketball, could you foresee them? Now, we've got Illinois. That's a big one. We go out and lose to Illinois this Saturday, people are going to feel differently. You go out and you win. That's your third top 10 win. You beat Illinois twice. Right, they're number 9 team in the country. You beat them twice. Technically, that's 2 top 10 wins. You beat Michigan State, number 7. That's 3 top 10 wins, and your only loss is on the road at number 3 Michigan, a game you really, I don't want to say should have, but very easily could have won. I think the potential of Nebraska being a number 1 overall seed is very real. Because you think about getting the 2 guys back that were out the other night in the game. I'm not going to sit here and spend all day complaining about Big Ten refs. By the way, what happens to college football players who go blind? Do you know?
I'm going to guess.
They become Big Ten refs. Football and basketball. That's what happens. I've used that joke. Just never here before. I've used it multiple times. Just never here before. And usually I have it pertaining to football, but here we're talking about basketball. We're not going to spend a ton of time on the refs, but the way Nebraska played, how they played, the biggest thing that stood out to me was Hoiberg got ran over. I think it was the shot that put Michigan ahead. It was clearly a charging call, and they didn't call it. But again, we're going to move on past that. There's a real legitimate shot. Nebraska's been projected to be a 3 seed for like a long time, since they've been about 14, 15, 13-0, somewhere in there. Now, it's beyond reasonable to think they could be a 2 seed, the potential of being a 1 seed. You look at Arizona, you look at UConn, you look at Michigan, you look at Duke, the 4 teams that are currently ranked ahead of them. Gonzaga's right behind them. They already beat Michigan State. You look at Iowa State, a couple of losses. The Big 12 is actually a good basketball conference, not as good in football. Then you got Illinois, who we're going to play again. Houston at number 10, 17-2 in the Big 12 as well. I think it's a very real possibility, especially if we get a chance to play Michigan again in the Big 10 tournament. And we're healthy. And we win. Now, this is, you got to take into consideration all the other games that we're going to play between now and then. At UCLA, at USC, Purdue, Illinois, a couple times versus our good buddies and best friends from Iowa. Okay, hopefully that goes according to plan. There's a very real shot. We could be a number 1 seed. Jake, I want your thoughts on this. And you called me out before we went on air, so we're going to address that. But before we do that, just a friendly reminder, the 2nd annual Carriker Chronicles Youth Football Camp is this summer, July 8th, Lincoln, Nebraska, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Coach Osborne will be there, Eric Crouch. The tickets owned Terrell Farley, Nebraska football legend, and the assistant athletic director at the university right now, Brendan Stye. Yours truly, 35-plus coaches, 15-plus coaches who have played and or coached in the NFL and or college football. I'm going to tell you right now, there's one position group. The way it looks right now, they're going to have 2 current college coaches and 2 former Nebraska starters at that particular position group. I'm not divulging it just yet because I'm finalizing that 4th coach, former Nebraska player who's probably going to end up being there. That's just a 1 position group. Everybody rotates through every group at the camp. Again, you can learn more at carrikerchronicles.com if you're so inclined. Again, carrikerchronicles.com. All right, Jake, you called me out before we went on air. Care to reiterate so the people can hear? The good, fine folks at home, by the way, he's got a bad news Bach all over the place. So go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Yesterday or the other day, the game went not exactly according to plan. As we know, we started to hear rumblings. We were out there at Mulberry Barbecue that perhaps Rink Mass might not be able to play. And we picked Nebraska to win the game. And as those rumblings kind of came about, you made a note that if Rink Mass doesn't play, then you're going to pick Michigan. And why did Nebraska put on a show? But maybe they just needed that little less belief from Adam Carriker to get that final shot up to go in.
I'm not going to lie, I wavered. I totally wavered at the end. I was like, wait, Mass might be out too. I'm wavering here. Have you ever seen the movie Elf? All these Christmas movies keep coming up. Have you ever seen the movie Elf with Will Ferrell?
You're a big Christmas guy. I love Elf, yeah.
Dude, you have no idea the amount of Christmas movies. It's like a list of 40 movies that the family and I start watching every year. We used to decorate the day after Thanksgiving. Now it's the day before just because, we got a million things going on with 6 kids and a million events. And so we start watching Christmas movies now. I know it's blasphemous. The day before Thanksgiving. It used to have to be the day after, or at least the night of, after you've eaten the turkey dinner. And Elf is on that list. So that's why all these Christmas movies keep popping up. But there's a point in the end of the movie where Santa, his sleigh, used to run on, I think it was like Christmas Spirit. And so he's in New York, the little, not blaster, that's not the right word, the engine or whatever that propels the sleigh, because Christmas Spirit isn't as strong as it used to be, it gets knocked off the sleigh. And they're singing, and the dad, Will Ferrell's elf, not the elf dad, but the human dad of Will Ferrell, the elf, if that made sense, isn't singing. He's mouthing the words. And Will Ferrell's brother goes, "You're not singing, you're lip syncing." And so finally the dad starts singing and the sleigh takes off. Are you saying the sleigh didn't take off because of me? Is that what happened in the basketball game?
Very possible, yeah. I think that's probably what ended up making the difference.
I accept responsibility for my contribution, even though I don't want to. I never thought I would compare Elf to Nebraska basketball, but that was did you enjoy the journey we took there? I landed the plane somewhat, I thought. Did you like that?
Yeah. I was wondering when you brought up Elf, I was like, I love the movie, but we'll see where it goes.
I was building the plane as I was flying it, but we landed it safely. All right. So what are your thoughts on Nebraska potentially being a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament? And I'm still going to come back to this. And I don't want to put too much emphasis on one game, but if they win an NCAA tournament game, that's going to make it a successful season to me. If they don't, we were a 3 seed in 1991 and got upset by a 14 seed. That's why I'm bad news Adaming all over the place right now, I feel like. Let me know your thoughts on Nebraska potentially being a number 1 seed in the tournament, 2 seed, 3 seed, whatever the case may be. What's that text line number there, Jake?
402-464-5685.
All right. And we are coming down to the wire with a big body, a wide body up front on the defensive line, trying to add to our recruiting class. We've added a quarterback within the past month. Now we're trying to add 330 pounds, 4-star. I believe he's a 4-star. How much value do you put in star rankings at this point?
I think it gives you at least an idea of where they are. I mean, he's a top 200 type of kid. So.
All right. Tell the fine folks, because, we're starting to become recruiting rivals with Kentucky. What's the deal with Kentucky? Get out of our grill, Kentucky. Go ahead. Tell the fine folks about it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be something there that Kentucky and Nebraska, they seem to be going after the same players all the time. But, Nebraska is trying to land here. Defensive lineman Dilly Berriman, 6'2", 330 pounds, out of Monroe, Louisiana. Like we were saying, the 4-star ranking, top 100 kid according to 24/7 Sports, had him at 97th, top 200 in the 24/7 composite ranking, which is all the sites together, had him at 199th. But one way or the other, he's a 330 pounder, and those are hard to come by. And obviously with the trajectory, hopefully that'd be a starter on your line someday. But he is down to Nebraska and Kentucky, expected to make the decision in the next couple of weeks.
What is today's date? 29th? Signing day is the 4th. February 4th. So that's like, 6 days from now? So we should know. We should know within about 6 days. There's still a signing day in February, in case people forgot about that. I remember last year, because it's always on a Wednesday. I don't have a show on Wednesday on the ticket. I remember last year, I didn't talk about signing day at all. Because it was Tuesday, and then I don't have a show Wednesday. That's signing day every year, the first February and Wednesday, and then Thursday, because we didn't sign anybody. It's the first time in the 11 years at that point, now 12 years, I've been covering Husker sports and Nebraska football. I didn't even address signing day. I probably did in a sentence or two, but I don't remember doing a deep dive at all. There was nothing to talk about. Yeah. It's crazy. It used to be such a build to that first Wednesday in February, and it's just crazy how much has changed since. I will say this, adding Tanner, the quarterback, I think that was big. The dude's got wheels, by the way. Now, how does he develop as a passer? How does he develop? He actually makes pretty quick decisions. He's not used to doing them from the pocket. He's used to doing them on bootlegs, waggles, out on the edge, RPO, run pass option type things when he's already out on the edge. But dude got a lot of upside. And now you think about Barrymore. All I heard was 330 pounds. That's what I heard. You look at our current defensive line roster. I'm not going to go through every name. I only see one guy that's even listed at 300 that's going to be back for next year, and that's Gabe Moore. We added some good transfer portal players on the defensive line. None of them are listed at 300. They're all under 300. We only had 2 last year that were even listed at 300. Nobody over. There's Elijah Judy and Gabe Moore.
Now, Dylan Parrott, I believe, is coming back. I think he's up there.
What'd you say?
Dylan Parrott.
Let me look at that. You mind looking up his weight? Because I would be happy to be wrong about this. I hope I'm wrong about this.
Yeah, he's listed at 320.
He is. Okay, I'm glad I'm wrong about that. We need some bigger bodies. And you don't have to be I'm just going to say, you don't got to be fat. You got to be able to move and be athletic. But you need some girth and some size. It goes without saying. If I go, this morning, I'm moving some stuff around my son's bedroom. Okay, we painted the walls, whatnot. My wife's like, hey, can you come move this? If the thing I'm moving is 10 pounds, it's exponentially going to be easier to move than if it's 90 pounds. I feel like did I land that plane? I feel like that made sense.
Yeah.
It's not hard to figure out. And John Butler, before he was let go, even said, you need big bodies to stop the run. Did we not know that beforehand? But okay, we're here now. So I get excited when I think about and he's a good player. He can move. He's athletic. He's got a lot of size. So I'd love to see him come to Lincoln. I'd love to see how he develops over time and what he can possibly do on the field for the Black Shirts, for Husker football, and for this great state and university. So we'll see what happens. Kentucky, what is the deal? Get out of our yard, man. Who else? Because I remember Dowdell went there. There was been a couple other guys that we were battling over. Do you recall who they were with Kentucky?
Well, obviously the quarterback's kind of the big one.
Yeah.
Who was,
That's right.
Yeah. So he was, but yeah, it's just been over the years. It's kind of weird. I mean, we take Dane Key and give him Braylon Hurd. I mean, I think over the years there's been some trades.
There have been some trades. Interesting.
But Vince Morrow was one that they took off our staff, and then he kind of started to recruit some of those guys.
I guess we did take their wide receivers coach.
Yeah,
it's gone back. You tend to only think about the things that you didn't win the battle in, and that's on those. Like you could get 10. We're gonna go Christmas. You get 10 Christmas presents, but the one you didn't get is the one that's gonna bother you. You know what I mean? So, anyways,
do you feel? By the way, I know it's a question we did right after, but now there's been some time.
Yeah.
Kenny Minchie, would you feel better with Kenny Minchie than Calandria?
No,
me either.
I said it at the time. I think we actually upgraded.
Yeah. We
even chatted about it. We just spent a lot of time on it, but Nebraska kind of backed into a couple of good quarterbacks here. Anthony Calandria, I think, is now over a 2-year period. Minchie has more upside because he would be here in 2 years. Anthony will not. But Rule's got to win now. Now, I don't think he's going anywhere, to be clear. He's got that contract, that extension. We need stability. I want to give him time. I want to see what happens, and we're going to get about 1,000 texts. Adam, we've been seeing what happens for about 15 years. I get it. But where we're at right now, he's not going anywhere. We need to give him time. We need to see what happens. But that being said, he needs to show signs next year, just for the spirit of the program in general. And I think Anthony Calandria for next year is, at this moment in time, a better option than Minchie. I didn't think Minchie was a bad option at all. I didn't think he was bad at all. But I also think Anthony was a better option than had Dylan stayed. Like, I genuinely like Calandria. I like him better than Minchie for next year. I like him better than what Raiola, and Raiola may take off when he plays again as a starter in a couple years at Oregon or wherever he's at. But for next year, I like Calandria the best option, because then you've got right in the fold TJ Lateef, brought in a freshman quarterback. You've got Daniel Kalen. Don't forget about that guy. Like, I actually like our quarterback room, top to bottom, exponentially better this year than last year. It's not a dig on last year. It's a compliment to the upgrade of the room as a whole this year. Also, I like Calandria, who's not proven at a Power 4 conference. I know he'd start at Virginia. Okay, not consistently over time just yet, but I like the way he plays. I really think people are going to like how he goes about things. When you have a quarterback who doesn't display the most physicality or toughness or things of that nature, it's not the worst thing in the world. But just think about the one time that quarterback lowers his shoulder, boom, how it can ignite a sideline, how it can get a whole fan base excited. Well, Calandria kind of does that a lot. Not the biggest dude in the world, but people are going to like the way that he plays. He has the potential to electrify Memorial Stadium. I don't know about the wins. I don't know about the stats, but with the way he plays, he could ignite something like a little bit of excitement that doesn't seem to be overwhelming this offseason, which I'm fine with. How many consecutive offseason national championships do we have here?
I think like 15. About.
Yeah, 10 to 15. The streak might be ending, but maybe, just maybe, not getting a bunch of hype in the offseason will be extra motivation for the fine folks down at the university in a good way, and maybe it'll actually make us better on the field. Sometimes when you're hearing just a bunch of positivity, sometimes entitlement can creep in. I'm not saying that, well, Matt Rule said he was sick of entitlement after the Minnesota game, so apparently it crept in. But sometimes when you're not hearing those things, and maybe there's even a little bit of doubt, they can put a chip on your shoulder. Sometimes a chip on your shoulder and a fire in your rear can make you better. Now, are we going to have more wins next year than 7? You look at the schedule, hard to talk about that yet right now. But maybe the play looks different. Like Nebraska lost versus Michigan, but fans walked away proud. Can we look at the last 3 games and say we were proud despite like just how the games were played? Can you say we were proud of that, Jake?
I think embarrassed maybe is more
okay
to it.
Can we be proud of the way they play? And then let the scoreboard be what it will be. Those are just my thoughts. So we'll see what happens with Barrymore. Love to get him. I do think we actually backed into a couple of pretty good quarterback prospects. Tanner, the high school guy. Do you know how to say his last name? I avoid saying his last name because I'm not sure how to say it, and I don't want to mispronounce it. You know, people have said my name Carriker. There's no freaking T in it. Since I was a little kid. Like everybody, hey, Adam Carriker. No, there's no T. Okay, it's character without, it's character without the T, it's Carriker. I've heard Carriker, kick a car, Carrot Top. I don't know where they got that one from. One I won't repeat. And I've heard all sorts of things. So I try to be respectful when I'm trying to pronounce other people's names. You don't always get it right. I've never heard it said out loud yet. Have you heard it said out loud?
I mean, I know we asked the other day, had Brian Munson on it, is the recruiting guy, and even he's still kind of working on getting there. So I think it's Vibable, but
yeah, there you
yeah.
go. You sound like me, Vibable. I'm gonna go Tanner V. Tanner V. All right, Jimmy V got Jimmy V from college basketball.
Yeah.
They do the Jimmy V, tournament every year in memory of him. All right, the great coach. So Tanner V for now, and then I like Anthony Calandra. I like what he can do with his legs. I like his moxie. I like the way he plays. Does it equate to more than 7 wins next year? There are a lot of people who think 6 wins would be a great season when you look at the schedule. So we'll see what happens. Is there any thoughts off the text line based on anything we've talked about so far, in particular Nebraska basketball?
No, but let's see. There was a thought here. Someone I wanted to point out was we went over our Kentucky names. We forgot Wandale Robinson, which is a big one.
Ooh, that's a big one. Gosh dang those guys. They took him too. Well, I don't know if they took him. He was going back home, so to speak, because he's from Kentucky.
Yeah.
All right.
Another one I thought it was the Terry Wilson. Remember when Patrick O'Brien and Terry Wilson were both committed here? He went to like Oregon first, but he ended up there.
O'Brien ended up at Colorado State, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
And then I think I go back and look at O'Brien. I thought he finished his career somewhere else. Then text with Maston, Frager, Nebraska beats Michigan by double digits.
Double digits. You know what struck me was, did you watch their coach be interviewed after the game? Michigan coach? He was kind of like, yeah, we really didn't hit our stride in last 5 minutes. I'm paraphrasing. But essentially, he was like, he wasn't concerned. And we woke up the last 5 minutes and won. Just like, if I'm a Michigan fan, I feel worse after that game. They were outcoached, outplayed, outdisciplined by a team down 2 of their best players. You were a double-digit road favorite before Mast didn't play, and you barely won at the very end. Like, if I'm Michigan, I don't feel better after that. Like, their fan base was, did they rush the court? I saw a picture where they like rushed the court afterwards. Somebody sent me a picture of that. Now, anything you see online, you never know if it's true or not. If it could be AI, it could be doctor. I don't know. It was sent to me. And then you had fans. Some of the Michigan fans were very respectful. Hey, you guys played your hearts out. You got a great team. I can't wait to see you when you're at full strength. Like, maybe we'll play each other again. That'd be great. And then you had other Michigan fans who were the opposite. They were like celebrating. And I'm like, I wouldn't feel as good as you do right now. Double-digit home favorite, playing a team that's down 2 of their best players, and you eke it out at the very end after you trailed for 36 minutes and 20 seconds of a 40-minute game. So anyways, that was just my thought. I will say this. I assume Mast will be back. Do we know about Frager for Saturday?
Not for sure. Sunday, by the way.
So, I keep saying Saturday. It's Sunday. Sunday, 3 p.m., right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, you get that win. You're like, you feel good. You're back on track. You got to show up each and every day. You can't buy into the poison, which is too much negativity or too much positivity, because then you get lazy. Hoiberg talked about it. We can't buy into the poison when they were ranked in the top 5. This is before the Michigan game. So you got to stay motivated week in and week out, game in and game out, day in and day out. Any other final thoughts here, Jake? We had to break.
One question from Steven here off the text line. Does Calandria have the it factor, the ability to break off an explosive run or even take it to the house, would ignite the offense and excite fans?
So I'm going to answer that 2 ways. Number one, does he have the it factor? I don't know, because I don't know exactly what the it factor is, because nobody does. Nobody really knows what it is, but when you see it, they're like, they have it. Whatever it is, they have it. I haven't seen him in a Nebraska uniform do it yet. So I don't know if he has it in the Nebraska uniform. Can he break off a big play and ignite a fan base and a team? Yes. That when I say he can electrify potentially the fans and the team and ignite them, that's exactly what I'm talking about. He's a bit of a gunslinger. He plays with a lot of moxie. He's a guy who took care of the ball a lot better last year. Right? His completion percentage jumped up from 61% to 65%, which is a decent improvement under Dan Mullen, who's coached a fair amount of great quarterbacks in his day. Tebow, Prescott, Alex Smith, and more. And so he developed a lot at UNLV, I thought. His turnovers and his interceptions went down, but he's still a guy that'll take a few risks. So don't be surprised if there's a few plays where you're like, oh, man, I wish we hadn't done that. But there's going to be a whole lot of plays where you're like, oh, I freaking love watching that kid play. And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing. I just don't think we've seen enough of that. We saw it from Emmett last year. I don't think we saw a ton of it from any one particular player on offense a couple years ago. Defensively, probably Ty Robinson. Us D linemen, we tend to get overlooked, but I think he's the guy that can bring that. He can bring that excitement, something that Husker fans need. We need something, because you used the word embarrassed for how the season, and we need something that we can respect. We need something that's respectable. Because in order to be excited, you have to respect something. Once you respect it, then it's much easier for you to get excited about it. Right now, I think fans are struggling with respecting certain things. And I think that's feeding into a little bit of the frustration and no offseason national championship, which may actually be a great thing for us this year. Again, maybe that's a little bit of a motivator. Maybe we'll be better for it. Ladies and gentlemen, before we head to break, I want to give a shout out to a good partner of this show. Shout out to Suizo Construction. Safety, it's not just a policy, it is a promise. Suizo hires skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back, both on and off the job site. Apply today at Suizo.com. 40 years strong in business. Suizo Construction. Again, that's Suizo.com, SCHWISOW.com. Don't go anywhere. We got a bunch of clips we're going to play per basketball, and we'll be right back.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Change begins with you. Join a weight loss medication study at Solarion and earn cash in the process. If you are 19 to 65 years old with excess weight to lose, you may qualify. Participants could earn up to $22,750 for their time. Study includes 1 2-night stay, 1 3-night stay, and 38 returns. Learn more at helpresearch.com/flamingo or call 866-213-2965. Weight loss not guaranteed.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, for brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
I love pushing hard at the gym, but the soreness after, not so much. I researched about what to look for in a good red light system, so I tried the Spectrum 7 at Max Tan. The full body red light relaxes and refreshes my muscles. It's part of my recovery routine, Max Tan.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had roofing service company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing service company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing service company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney location. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their Contact Us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. As you fine folks know, as a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a bit of a health nut. Hydration and recovery, they do start at home. Make sure you team up with Culligan of Lincoln. They have soft water, and as Jake knows, that means better showers. How are your showers over the weekend?
Thanks for continually asking about my showers. They've been all right, but could be better.
I'm sitting there staring at ribs at Mulberries on Friday and randomly, how are your showers, Jake? We're all over the place. All right. Better showers. Jake, you need better showers. This is how you get it, okay? Cleaner dishes. You need better cleaner dishes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Get a scrubber and better water. All right. It protects your water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, make sure you add a Culligan reverse osmosis. It's just like bottled quality water, but right at your tap. It has great taste and is certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, take advantage of this. You can get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 a month for your first 3 months. Jake, better showers for just $9.95 a month for your first 3 months. Cleaner dishes.
Heck of a deal.
Bottle quality water. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, why do you love Go a Big Red? All right, couple of things. Bryce Sanford, Nebraska's leading scorer. Let's see here. Leads the Big Ten in three-point shooting. He just had his fifth straight 20-point game. Leads the Big Ten in three-point shooting percentage at 42%. Unfortunately, Nebraska finished 1 of 12 from beyond the arc the other night. All right. But Bryce Sanford is now, this is actually during the game, so I didn't look at his final stats after the game, but 1 point during the game, this may be after the game, is now only 4 3-pointers away from Tominaga's season record of 76. Did you know that?
To outpace Tominaga, huh?
That's impressive.
Yeah.
All right, man. You had something off the text line. Is that correct?
There was a Stevens said Nebraska needs a quarterback terrorist. That's the word I would use, but somewhat in any time that is a threat to stick the other quarterback and make him feel the pain.
I cannot agree with you more. So, I just spoke with Charlie McBride this morning, and it's like, what are the two most important things to being a good defense? Stopping the run, getting after the quarterback. Now, he had some other thoughts as well. I asked for two. Got more. But I love Charlie because he will give you all the time in the world. Stopping the run, getting after the quarterback. We can't have our leading sack guy be 2.5 sacks. You know, we brought in 2 transfers this year that would have led our team in sacks. 2 of them had more than 2.5 sacks this year that we brought in defensively. Neither one were defensive linemen, by the way. We need guys who can get after the quarterback, win more one-on-one battles, collapse the pocket, get in his face. It doesn't even have to be like, I've had a bunch of defensive line coaches over the years tell me, it's more than just sacks. If they throw the ball 45 times in a game, 40 times in a game, and you get 4 sacks, that's a really good game. That's 36 other pass plays. Are you knocking him down? How many times do you make him run out of the pocket? How many times do you make him move his feet? How many times do you pressure him? How many times do you hit him without getting, which is almost impossible to do, a roughing the passer penalty? How many times do you bat a ball down? How many times are you in the backfield making him adjust his line of vision, something with his body, altering how he has to throw the ball, getting outside of the pocket, making the pocket collapse? How are you affecting the quarterback? It's huge. We have not been able to do it 2 out of the past 3 years very well at all. And it goes beyond the past 3 years without having to blitz. I got no problem with blitzing. I like blitzing. I like attacking and being aggressive and getting after people. But if you have to do it, it puts your defense in a little bit of a bind, especially against a really good offense and a really good quarterback. We need guys, I know, maybe it's not politically correct, but who can be a quarterback terrorist. I get it. And I love that. And he's right. All right, we got a couple of basketball clips here. Go ahead and roll one of them, Jake.
All right, here's Coach Hoiberg responding to the loss.
And listen, that team is projected by a lot of people to win a national championship. You got no Braden, you got no Rink, you got no Oogie, you got no Connor, and you fight them all the way to the finish, and you lose by a basket. I mean, that shows the character of our team, and it also shows that we can compete with anybody in the country. And, you know, I told them in the locker room, we haven't had this feeling in a long time. It's been almost a year since we have had that dejected feeling in a locker room, and they were hurt. They were hurt by it. We've responded great when we've had a big emotional win, and now we're going to find out what we're made of and how we're going to respond to a tough loss like that.
The way that they've approached things this year, because he talked about the ability, basically how to handle success. Not everybody can handle success. I've talked about that. It can be poison. Hoiberg talked about don't drink that poison when they reach number 5, which is, by the way, the highest ranking any collegiate basketball team from the state of Nebraska has ever had. Number 7 was the previous highest. Creighton had done it in the past. We obviously, before we got to 5, were 7. So when they first got to number 5, this is the highest UNO, Creighton, any college basketball program in history had ever been, was number 5. By University of Nebraska, he's like, don't drink the poison. The way they play, if you pay attention to how I talk about things sometimes, I don't always talk about the outcome. I talk about the process. What's the C word? I've used consistently about 1,000 times. I just literally said it, Jake.
Consistency?
Consistency. I haven't heard Rule say 1% better in a long time. What happened to 1% better? I loved that when I heard that. Another way of saying it is stacking days. Have a good day. Stack it. Stack it. Stack it. 1%, 1%, 1%. Now, there might come a day where you have a great day. Maybe you get 2% better. And the next day, oh, you're a human being. And oh, my gosh, maybe you get 0.5% better. If you can average 1% better every day, that's going to stack up quickly. And then the response I immediately get from almost everybody, well, Adam, what happens when you get to 100%? Well, how does anybody know what your 100% is? I've watched 5 stars come in and be good. I've watched 5 stars quit and walk out in the middle of drills. I've watched walk-ons come in. I play with a guy named Brandon Regoni. You know Brandon Regoni?
Yeah, absolutely. Part of League at Southeast?
Yes. Walk-on. Physically looking at him, nobody would put him on a D1 field. Nobody would put him on a D1 field. The dude not only belonged on that field, he became back when you could like have wedges and wedge busters and kickoff return, everybody got up and watched him on kickoff. Because you knew that wedge that he was about to bust, those guys were going to walk off in pain. And in practice, when we do Oklahoma drill, nobody. I'd watch offensive wide receivers literally get out of the drill because they didn't want to go against him. He was a team captain. 3 team captains my senior year, myself, Zach Taylor, and Brandon Rigoni. People looked at him probably and said, his 100% is here. He said, bunk that. It's here. So who knows what your 100% is? Keep stacking. 1%, 1%, 1%. You might just blow the roof off the joint if you keep stacking. I don't necessarily talk about the wins and losses. I do, but I talk about how it looks and how they're playing and how they're approaching it. And again, I think with Nebraska football, I'm not going to keep bringing this up, but I think that's what's frustrating is how it looked. When I watch Nebraska basketball, what I like is how they look. Admittedly, when I found out Rink Mass was out on Tuesday, officially, I was at my house. I looked at my wife. I'm just going to be honest. I said, I hope they can compete. I hope they can keep it within that 10.5. That was my honest response. Is that an unfair response in the moment?
No, I don't think so.
Man, you watch the way the way they play as a team is why they played so well without 2 of their best players. It's about how they played. Now, there's a reason one guy's a starter and another guy's not. So there's a difference there. But when you've got a team that plays like that consistently, it's much easier to keep rolling. It's about how you play versus who you play or what's going on that particular day or how I feel right now. No. There's a style that's been set forth. And the next guy steps in. Maybe he's a 2 for a reason, whatever the case may be. But, man, they step in and they keep rolling to a certain degree, and that's exactly what happened. All right. You got that next clip?
Yeah, let's go to Gary Parrish here on Nebraska.
It's a great game that lived up to the hype against, I think, some expectations, because once the visiting team is down to 2 starters, down 2 key players, you think that's going to be difficult. I mean, Nebraska was a double-digit underdog at tip-off, but they fought. Nice and I were talking off air. Nebraska was 20-0 when it woke up this morning. Now it's 20-1, and I think they probably have more fans, more believers right now than they had before this game, because there's nothing fluky about going into Chrysler, going into Ann Arbor and playing Michigan literally to the final buzzer. They showed up. That was impressive stuff from Cornhusker.
I don't have a whole lot to add. We want to roll into the next one. I thought that was great. National pundits starting to pay attention finally.
Here's another national pundit, Ice Young.
I said to you, do we believe them, right? Do we really believe that they're that good? I think, to me, despite being down 2 starters, they still could have won this game, Coach. They were right there. A couple of possessions differently in terms of 1 less turnover in transition, 1 more defensive rebound, and this could have been their win. What I like so much about Nebraska is that they move the ball at a high clip, they shoot the 3 at a high clip, and they defend as one unit. And those 3 things, that trifecta, will get you to win games in March.
Notice when she talked about how they play. How they play. That's what's going to be impressive if you pay attention, in my opinion. You look at Sam Hoiberg. Again, these aren't my kids. I'm allowed to have favorites. He's probably my favorite player on the team, of a team with a lot of guys that I love watching. But Sam is, I think, unequivocally one of the best Big Ten point guards, probably best point guards in all of college basketball, in my opinion. He leads Nebraska in defensive rebounds, assists, and steals. He's also top 5 on the team in shooting percentage, scoring average, and 3-point percentage. And has the best defensive rating of any rotation player. You look at that guy, I wonder how many times he's heard the whole coach's kid thing. You know, that thing. You watch how he plays, oh my goodness. First of all, he's insanely smart. He's insanely smart, but how he plays, it not only is one of the reasons he's being so effective this year, but I guarantee that reverberates throughout the locker room. You have somebody in the locker room who's entitled and whiny and whatever, and they're supposed to be one of your starters, that can reverberate throughout the locker room. It can lead to, is a battle at halftime, heads being down, versus, no, we're going to come back out and keep fighting. You have a guy like that who's your point guard, so he's in charge of the offense, so to speak. Now, different guys, the way they run the offense, when Rink Mast is in, a lot of times he's up at the top and he's looking for cutters and things of that nature. And they do a lot of ball handoffs and screens at the point guard and whatnot, which Michigan had a heck of a hard time with all the movement and everything that Nebraska does, keeping up with them. But that will reverberate throughout a locker room, the way Sam plays. And that's one of the things I like about him the most. Before we go to break here, is that all the clips we have for today? I believe that was it.
Yep.
I thought this was funny. It's funny because it doesn't involve us. So Duke wins the ACC. This is football now. I'm jumping to college football. Duke wins the ACC and misses the playoff. Miami makes the national championship because Miami just took their quarterback.
Yeah, Gary Minsa.
All right, so yeah. Duke's quarterback that they paid a lot of money to take from another team last year now just got taken from them by Miami offering him even more money. So Duke in football wins the ACC and misses the college football playoff. Miami makes the national championship game and makes $20 million. They use that money to buy Duke's number one quarterback and number one wide receiver and put them on their squad. And this guy was like, we just stole their quarterback and wide receiver with the money they gifted us. How crazy is this world of college athletics and college football? That's probably the difference. The fact that Duke, the new college football rules, by the way, Duke would have been in this year because it's the 4 power conference champions and the highest rated G5 champion. It's not the 5 highest rated conference champions. It's Power 4 and G5. So Duke would have been in, which honestly, James Madison actually played admirably versus Oregon, but they would have been over James Madison. And with this, not ASA 7, not ASA 8, this ASA 9 rule, where Notre Dame gets their automatic qualifier if they're in the top 12, they would have been in over Miami. I understand why they made some of these changes. Our playoff would have looked a lot different this year, and I don't think it would have been for the better. I'm not a big fan of 2 G5 teams getting in, but in general, like Duke was 7-5 in the regular season. I think the real bigger problem is the ACC needs to fix their tiebreakers. The fact that Miami wasn't in the ACC championship game is the craziest thing. To me, if there's a bunch of teams tied, obviously you go head-to-head. But if you got multiple teams tied like they had at the end of the season, just take the 2 highest ranked teams. I think that would solve a lot of those issues. Just, okay, you got like 3, 4 teams tied, so it's hard to do the head-to-head deal. Let's just take the 2 highest ranked teams. That'll be a conference championship game. Thoughts before we head to break, Jake?
Yeah, certainly could be a possibility there. And in there, they're moving some things around. I believe this year, too, it's not even necessarily the highest ranked group of 6 as the Pac-12.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yep.
But it's not the champ. They're going to go with the highest ranked team there to avoid any sort of problem like that you had here. So that is interesting, too, as they continue to kind of move parts around to make it work for the previous season. Again, reminds me a lot of the BCS era. And then you'll find some new problems this year. We'll have to make different changes.
They keep having to change the language every year. They want to keep growing the amount of teams to 16 to 24 to 92,800 and 422. Well, how about we figure out how to do 12 first? Let's get that right. It's not the champs. It's the highest rated team from each conference.
It's the highest rated team, which they assume would be in the.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
We got to confirm that during the break. I was not aware of that. Don't go anywhere. If I'm right, we'll talk about it after the break. If not, we shall move on. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I love pushing hard at the gym, but the soreness after, not so much. I researched about what to look for in a good red light system, so I tried the Spectrum 7 at Max Tan. The full body red light relaxes and refreshes my muscles. It's part of my recovery routine, Max Tan.
Change begins with you. Join a weight loss medication study at Solarion and earn cash in the process. If you are 19 to 65 years old with excess weight to lose, you may qualify. Participants could earn up to $22,750 for their time. Study includes 1 2-night stay, 1 3-night stay, and 38 returns. Learn more at helpresearch.com/flamingo or call 866-213-2965. Weight loss not guaranteed.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Sports Show. Don't miss the family show of outdoor fun, the 57th Annual Boat Sport and Travel Show, January 30th to February 1st at the Sandhills Global Event Center. RVs, boats, docks, golf carts, resorts, fishing lures, family entertainment, and more. See exotic animals at Wildlife Encounters. Enjoy the petting zoo and the balloon lady. Doors open at noon on Friday, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Bring the neighbors. See you there.
Sports Show. Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2. Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. I was mostly right. It's the Power 4 Conference champions and the highest-rated G6 team, regardless of if they're a conference champion, which Jake astutely pointed out, wouldn't that be Notre Dame, possibly? Yeah, Notre Dame gets to have their cake and eat it, too. I would totally just make rules, and I wouldn't care if it worked for Notre Dame at all, but I'm not in charge of college football yet. All right, and we got a couple of texts regarding the number one seed for Nebraska, whether they will or won't be. It doesn't seem to be a big deal for people, and honestly, it's not a big deal for me. I just thought it was interesting. Most people are like 1 seed, 2 seed. It's not that big a difference. You know, it's kind of just get that first tournament win and keep finishing the season strong, starting with Illinois Sunday. All right, as you know, it's the noon hour, and that means Mulberry Barbecue. Now, with 2 locations at 11th and Corn, Husker, and 61st and Apples Way, where Jake and I just were, delicious food 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2, right next to Lowe's. Both of these locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burn-in sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, full slab of ribs, half-smoked chicken, and much, much more. Plus, get incredible sides or get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue. Located at 11th and Corn Husker and 61st and Apples Way, just off of Highway 2. Bill Belichick is not a Hall of Famer. What? I'm not going to say what's going on. So, if you don't think politics are a heavy part of life, outside of politics, just an everyday, everything, every part of life, nothing displays, we don't care about your credentials or what's right. We care about our agendas and feelings. Because he's kind of been on the outs with the NFL as a whole. And if you didn't know that before now, you know it now. Somehow he's not a Hall of Famer. I don't know. Most playoff wins in NFL history, 333. Most wins in NFL history, 333. Most playoff wins in NFL history, 31. Most Super Bowl appearances, 9. Most Super Bowl wins by a head coach, 6. Not playoff worthy. All right, let's look at a couple other things. Ryan Fitzpatrick was actually a teammate of mine in St. Louis. They let him go before my rookie two-a-day camp was over. His wife and my wife actually were friends for a bit. He had a great tweet. He put this out. Only 5 schools have produced a U.S. president and a Super Bowl winning coach, and it's Michigan. So you got like Brady and Miami of Ohio with Roethlisberger and Harrison as the president. You got Staubach out of Navy and Carter, the president. You've got Stanford, Delaware. All right, with Biden and Joe Flacco. And Fitzpatrick, Harvard's not on here. Where he went, he goes, my bad. This is on me, Harvard. Because they've had a few presidents. But unfortunately, no Super Bowl winners just yet. But, dude, I love Fitz when he was in St. Louis. Obviously, he's had a heck of a career since. Bill Belichick, by the way, going back to that, is not a Hall of Famer, but Shedeur Sanders is a Pro Bowler. Make it make sense, Jake. Are they going to retire his number after the Pro Bowl? What do you think?
I think they should. I mean, I can't believe it's taking this long.
I love the insincere sarcasm. Just put that over the top. All right. Maybe we had a running back here at Nebraska, former Kansas State, Notre Dame, Colorado, Kansas State, Kansas commit. Had to go through all that quickly. There was a lot to read. Dylan Edwards has decommitted from Kansas and is back in the portal with the do not contact tag. His agent tells. Remember his that first game, true freshman year, Colorado at TCU, where he went off? Man, dude's talented. By the way, Eli Manning also not in the Hall of Fame. Should he be?
Eventually. Yeah, maybe not first.
Who gets in first, Belichick or Eli Manning?
I'd say Belichick.
Who do they hate less? They love Eli Manning.
But they love Eli Manning, yeah.
Oh, that's true. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a glorious day. Go Big Red. See you fine folks tomorrow. And always remember, throw the bones.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination. Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black